Men, when a woman cheats, she doesn't announce it. She changes. Her habits, her patterns, even the smallest parts of her routine start to shift. But here's the truth. No matter how carefully she tries to hide it, her behavior always leaves clues. These clues aren't loud. They're subtle, psychological, and easy to overlook until it's too late. Today, I'll reveal the 8 hidden habits women develop when they're secretly cheating and how to recognize them before she's gone completely. Before we start, hit subscribe and drop a comment if you've ever noticed sudden changes in your partner's routine. You might realize those small things were signs of something much bigger. Habit 1. Becoming mysterious about her schedule. When a woman starts cheating, one of the first things that changes is how she talks about her time. She becomes deliberately vague about where she's going and when she'll be back. Her explanations, which used to be detailed and natural, suddenly become shorter and less specific. Just running errands becomes her default response. She starts working late more often, or suddenly she's going out with friends you've never met and never heard about before. This isn't accidental forgetfulness or her being busy. This is strategic information control. Cheating women crave control of information because information is power. The less you know about her whereabouts, the safer she feels. Every detail she shares is a potential trap, a piece of information that might not line up later, a story that could unravel if you ask the wrong follow-up question. So she keeps you guessing deliberately. She maintains the upper hand by keeping her schedule fuzzy and her plans ambiguous. You ask where she's headed, and she replies casually, "Nowhere important, I'll be back soon." The tone is relaxed, almost dismissive, designed to make you feel like you're overthinking if you press further. But that vagueness is creating space. Space for her double life. Space for the other man. Space for activities she can't explain without lying. The shift from transparency to mystery is one of the earliest red flags. When someone who used to freely share details about their day suddenly treats basic schedule questions like interrogations, something fundamental has changed. She's not protecting her privacy. She's protecting her secret. Habit 2. Guarding her phone like it's gold. Her phone suddenly becomes her most private possession, treated with a level of security that would make government agencies jealous. She takes it everywhere now, even to the bathroom for a 30-second trip. The screen is always face down on tables, positioned so you can't accidentally glimpse a notification. New passwords appear out of nowhere when the old ones worked fine for years. Deleted notifications become standard. Do Not Disturb mode, which she never used before, is now activated constantly. This isn't about respecting boundaries or needing personal space. This is about hiding. The phone becomes her secret communication line, the digital thread connecting her to the affair. Every message, every call, every photo exchange with the other man passes through that device. The anxiety of getting caught transforms her phone into a physical symbol of guilt. It's no longer just a tool for communication. It's evidence that could destroy everything she's trying to hide. The psychological weight of this secret makes her hypervigilant. She's constantly aware of where her phone is, who might see it, what notifications might pop up at the wrong moment. This vigilance manifests as possessiveness over the device that looks obsessive to anyone paying attention. You reach for her phone casually to check the time or change a song, and she instantly grabs it back, maybe with a quick excuse about needing it for work or expecting an important message. The reaction is too fast, too defensive for something innocent. Her body language screams that this device contains things she cannot let you see. The phone guarding habit also extends to how she uses it around you. She angles the screen away. She types with the phone held close to her chest. She leaves the room to take calls that she used to answer comfortably in your presence. She clears her message history obsessively. Every behavior points to the same reality. That phone contains a relationship you don't know about. Habit 3. Suddenly caring about her looks more than usual. She starts dressing up for places that never used to matter. Trips to the grocery store now require full makeup. Running errands means wearing new clothes you don't remember seeing before. She's buying lingerie that you never see her wear at home. She's applying perfume for quick trips that should take 20 minutes. Her appearance routine, which used to be predictable and proportional to the occasion, suddenly becomes elaborate for seemingly mundane activities. When a woman cheats, she subconsciously wants to impress the other man. The change isn't about self-confidence or personal empowerment, though she might frame it that way if you ask. It's about validation from someone new. It's about looking attractive for someone who's giving her attention she's no longer seeking from you. This habit reveals itself in the mismatch between stated destination and actual presentation. She says she's going to the grocery store, but walks out looking like she's headed for a date. The effort doesn't match the errand. The styling doesn't fit the story. Her explanation might be that she's just trying to feel good about herself, that she's working on her confidence, that there's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice. And taken alone, that explanation sounds reasonable. But combined with other changes, this sudden investment in appearance for ordinary activities tells a different story. She's not dressing for herself. She's dressing for someone. She's putting in effort because someone new is paying attention to that effort in ways that make her feel desired again. The psychology behind this is straightforward. When women feel attracted to someone new, they instinctively want to present their best self. They want to be seen as desirable, attractive, exciting. This manifests in heightened attention to physical appearance, especially before times when they know they'll see the other person. Habit 4. Keeping her emotions out of reach. She becomes emotionally distant, creating a coldness that wasn't there before. She's quieter, less engaged, less affectionate. You notice less eye contact during conversations. When you talk, she's physically present but mentally elsewhere. Conversations that used to flow naturally now feel transactional, reduced to logistics, and necessary information exchange. She seems perpetually distracted, even during moments that should be intimate or connected. Emotional detachment is the first defense mechanism of a guilty conscience. It's not that she's actively trying to hurt you by withdrawing. It's that she's already giving her emotional energy and attention to someone else, and that drains her capacity to maintain connection with you. When women cheat, they often experience a psychological split. Part of their emotional world belongs to the affair. The excitement, the attention, the validation. That world consumes energy and focus. What's left for the primary relationship is often just a shell, the mechanical performance of partnership without the emotional substance that makes it feel real. You try to talk about your day, share something that happened, connect over something meaningful, and she nods while scrolling through her phone. Her body's there at the table, sitting across from you, but her mind isn't. She's performing presence without actually being present. The emotional investment that used to make your relationship feel alive has been redirected somewhere else. This habit also manifests in physical affection. She pulls away from casual touches. She finds reasons to avoid intimacy. She creates physical distance that mirrors the emotional distance she's already established. The warmth that used to exist between you gets replaced by a coolness that feels like indifference, but is actually guilt-driven withdrawal. Habit 5. Becoming overly defensive. Any normal question suddenly feels like a threat to her. Simple inquiries that would have gotten straightforward answers before now trigger disproportionate reactions. "Why do you always have to question me?" becomes a common response. "Can't I have a life outside this house?" she snaps when you ask basic things about her day. Even calm, casual conversations escalate fast, turning into conflicts you never intended to start. Defensiveness comes from fear of exposure. She's not actually reacting to your tone or your words. She's reacting to her guilt. In her mind, every question you ask brings her closer to being caught. Every inquiry feels like it might be the one that unravels her lies. Every conversation is a potential trap where she might slip up, contradict a previous story, or reveal something she meant to keep hidden. This creates a state of constant psychological tension. She's always on guard, always ready to deflect, always prepared to turn routine questions into arguments that shut down further inquiry. The defensiveness serves a dual purpose. It protects her secret, and it trains you to stop asking questions because the emotional cost becomes too high. You casually ask how her evening went, just making conversation, and she snaps, "Why are you interrogating me?" The reaction is so out of proportion to the question that it reveals more than she realizes. Innocent people don't respond to casual questions with hostility. People with nothing to hide don't treat normal curiosity like an invasion. The overreaction itself becomes evidence that something isn't right. The pattern repeats. You ask, she deflects with anger or indignation. The conversation ends in conflict, and you learn to stop asking. Over time, this conditions you to accept mystery as normal, to treat her whereabouts and activities as subjects too sensitive to inquire about. She's training you through emotional volatility to stop seeking truth. Habit 6. Creating unnecessary fights to gain freedom. She starts fights over small things. Dishes in the sink, the way you said something, minor irritations that never bothered her before. These conflicts seem to come out of nowhere, escalating quickly from nothing into major arguments. Then she uses the tension she created as an excuse to leave the house or stay away. "I just need space" becomes her exit line. "I can't deal with your attitude right now" justifies hours of absence. Arguments create emotional distance, and that distance gives her cover. Fighting justifies her absence both logistically and emotionally. She can leave after a fight, and you won't question where she's going because she's supposedly cooling off. She can stay away longer than necessary and frame it as needing time to calm down. The conflict provides perfect camouflage for meeting the other man. But the psychological purpose goes deeper than just creating excuses for absence. Fighting also shifts the guilt from her to you. If she can make you the bad guy, the one causing problems in the relationship, then she can justify her infidelity to herself. She can frame the affair as something you drove her to, as a response to your inadequacies, rather than her choice to betray trust. She storms out after a pointless disagreement about something trivial, something that wouldn't normally warrant leaving the house. Later, she returns and says, "I needed time to cool off," as if the fight justified hours of absence. But she wasn't cooling off. She was meeting someone. The argument was never about the dishes or your tone. It was manufactured specifically to create an excuse for leaving. This pattern of conflict-seeking behavior before disappearances is one of the clearest behavioral tells of infidelity. When someone consistently picks fights right before they need to be somewhere else, right before they need unquestioned time away, the fights themselves become tools rather than genuine disagreements. Habit 7. Acting extra affectionate. Suddenly, ironically, cheaters often become more loving after being unfaithful, creating confusing mixed signals that make detecting the affair even harder. She gives unexpected hugs. She makes thoughtful gestures she hasn't made in months. She offers sudden compliments about things she stopped noticing long ago. After weeks of coldness and distance, she suddenly plans a romantic dinner just because. This comes from guilt compensation. When women cheat, they sometimes overcorrect to mask their betrayal, trying to convince both you and themselves that everything's fine. The affection isn't genuine reconnection, it's damage control. It's her guilt manifesting as performance of devotion that she hopes will throw you off the trail. The psychology behind this is complex. Part of her feels bad about what she's doing. The guilt creates discomfort that she tries to ease by being extra nice to you, as if kindness now can balance out betrayal. Another part of her is strategically maintaining the relationship, ensuring you don't become too suspicious, keeping you emotionally invested while she continues the affair. After ignoring you for a week, After being distant and cold and emotionally unavailable, she suddenly becomes warm and attentive. The shift is jarring precisely because it doesn't fit the established pattern. Real emotional connection doesn't turn on and off like a switch. But manufactured affection, designed to conceal guilt, does exactly that. This habit creates cognitive dissonance for the partner being cheated on. The coldness suggests something's wrong, but then the sudden warmth suggests everything's fine. The mixed signals make it harder to trust your instincts because the evidence contradicts itself. That's exactly the point. The sporadic affection is meant to create enough doubt that you dismiss your suspicions. Habit 8. Developing secret routines. You're not part of. She starts new hobbies or habits that strangely exclude you from participation or even observation. I joined a fitness class, she announces, but she's vague about which class, where it meets, or who else attends. I've been going for solo walks lately, becomes a regular occurrence, always at times that conveniently coincide with when the other man is available. I just need some personal time frames her absence as self-care rather than deception. New solo routines are a classic cover for secret meetings. They allow her to disguise her affair as self-improvement or independence. Society encourages women to have their own interests, their own activities, their own time. This cultural acceptance of independence provides perfect camouflage for infidelity. How can you object to her joining a gym or taking walks without seeming controlling? The psychology here exploits your desire to be supportive. You want to encourage her personal growth. You don't want to be the partner who prevents her from having her own life. She knows this, and she uses your supportiveness as cover for betrayal. The routines aren't about fitness or meditation or personal development. They're scheduled opportunities to see the other man. Her evening jogs become longer and more frequent. She always leaves her phone behind for these jogs, supposedly to disconnect and be present in the moment. But leaving the phone is strategic. If you can't call or text her during these absences, you can't accidentally discover she's not actually jogging. The routine that sounds healthy and positive is actually a scheduled affair window. The exclusion is the tell. In healthy relationships, new interests might be personal, but they're not secretive. She'd mention details casually, maybe invite you to join occasionally, talk about the people she's meeting or what she's learning. But these new routines are characterized by vagueness and resistance to your involvement. She doesn't want you anywhere near these activities because they're not what she claims they are.